Good morning, and it's the 6th of May, day 1 of week 3, and now it's getting relatively more serious. However, getting all that scrambling around and doing some sit-ups and push-ups in the previous week and the week before that really gave me the confidence to go and do this, because I was not looking forward to this last night. I was just looking forward to it in a kind of dread. So yes. I'm feeling a bit wrung out, but that's it. I didn't fall over or puke. Excuse me, we're just going to go over the Manchester Ring Road. And I've run all the way from Droylsden to Daisy Nook Park, the short way. And when I was walking back over there, I saw a deer. It was cool. That's what getting up early does you. So I got up and I was out the door a couple of minutes past 7. I did still look at my computer before I got up, so I actually woke up at 20 to 7, spent 5 minutes looking on the computer, drank some water, made my bed, found my tracksuit. It's the only tracksuit I own. And I'm glad of it, because it was real nippy this morning. Yeah, and then ran for 2 minutes, walked for 2 minutes, ran for 2 minutes, etc. for a total of 20 minutes. So the previous footage is massively sped up for 2 reasons. One, it would be incredibly boring to watch. And 2, you probably all get seasick, so it is like a super blur motion thing, and I'll only play a few seconds of it. But that's a little win there. I feel like I've exerted myself fully as far as running and walking goes. Tomorrow's technically a rest day, but there'll be a woodland ramble, so I'll still be doing a couple of miles of overland stuff, and then it gets a little bit worse. Like running really fast for 30 seconds and then walking for 3 minutes and stuff like that. Or I think it's jogging for 3 minutes. On Wednesday it's jogging for 3 minutes and then walking for 1 minute to recover, to build up your wind. Where I'm walking right now is a canal nature reserve. They just chopped off a bit of the canal, filled it in, and allowed wild plants to move back in, which is good. Which is why I'm running it, really, because it's a towpath and they're usually pretty flat, unlike suburban streets or stuff like that. Now there are a few hills that I've chugged up. I just didn't want to wear myself out, because those hills are pretty much at the beginning of the run, and when I'm better at running and when I'm doing it more aggressively, because I know I can do it, to a certain level, I can start pushing myself. But you need to build up a system of belief. I think that's the lesson for today's ramble run. So the way the army fitness course works is that it's an exercise day and a rest day. So the first day, day 1, is an exercise day, and I think it's really just to get you to prove to yourself that you're not absolutely useless in the exercise department. It's fairly easy, and then it ramps up to the 16 weeks. So yeah. Yeah. So canals are good because they're nice and flat, and that's why I decided to do the run here. So yeah. So the exercise days where there's running are also going to be the ramble. I'll try, because if you run out somewhere, and it's interesting to see how far you can get, but if you run out to somewhere, then you've still got to walk back. So I think I'll make use of the 25 minutes or so it's going to take me to walk back. But that in itself is, walking 2 miles cross country type thing. It's not pavements. It's, it's flat-ish, but it's not uneven. I don't really want to run on the streets if I can avoid it. So yeah. So the army course is all about building up your belief in yourself, really. You go from couch potato to somebody that's approaching being fit enough to be a soldier, and then you join the army, and then they beast you some more and never stop. So yeah. I'm still a bit, you know, even that little amount of running. So I jogged for precisely 10 minutes and I walked for 10 minutes interspersed in with that, which is not brilliant. When I was trying to join the Army Reserves, and bear in mind I was 45 at the time, I could do the 1.5 mile run in, I think my best time was 11 minutes and 15 seconds, which is pretty good for an old fart like me. So yeah, and they were quite amazed as well. Like, they give you lots of extra minutes if you're in your 40s. Yeah, that's just about the last time in your life you can join the reserves. So, and I've from the last report, I think I've actually got fit person's arrhythmia, which is where you can run and your arrhythmia won't kill you, but whenever anybody takes your heartbeat, they have a little bit of a worry to themselves about whether you should be doing anything strenuous. So, but as far as I know, with no preparation for the last 3 years, I haven't done any running in the last 2 weeks. I haven't done anything like that. I haven't even run for a bus. So, if the arrhythmia was a problem, that I think would have probably done me in, or at least caused me to freak out. But no sweating, no vomiting. I didn't fall to the ground and, you know, suddenly convert to a religion in order to make it stop. So yeah, if I can do it. And I had a cigarette on the walk out here when I walked out to where I was going to start my run. So yeah. And when I get back to the house, I'll have another crack at doing, I'll have a little bit of a fitness thing and go back to trying to do a pull-up once a day. And I'm still going to do the a few sit-ups and a few push-ups and that sort of thing on the rest days. But that's my personal, you know, push. You know, I could do with losing the weight. I could do with being more limber. I've been doing it all last week, every day, apart from Sunday. And I think, as far as the gym is concerned, I'm going to have Sunday as my day off. So there'll be a woodland ramble and a gym session on Saturday mornings, and then there'll be like a long walk on Sundays. So I'm not going without exercise, as I discovered the other day. I don't know if you've caught episode 7, but pretty much you can of week 2. Pretty much, if you wanted to, you could just walk for 45 minutes a day, and that would be the equivalent of a 15-minute intense workout. So for all the, I mean, that's cardiologically. If you're doing exercise to lose a bit of weight, you're probably better off doing, well, if you've got 45 minutes to go for a walk, you've probably got an hour. So you might as well do 15 minutes of something that tests you a little bit, and then a 45-minute walk to cool down afterwards, and then go have a shower, go to work. But that's just me. As always, I'm very interested to hear what people are doing. I got a message, or I think there was a link from Harlequin, the chap in Australia, who was, I think, my first subscriber. So Harlequin has actually started running, and yeah, he's actually served some time in the armed forces. So yeah, so he started running yesterday. So obviously that Aussie urge to get the drop on limeys, well, POMs rather. So yeah, that's a 20-minute walk. Right, I've got a bit of philosophy for you. And this is something I need some feedback on. So it's otherwise I'm just experimenting in, you know, the only person I can really experiment on with this. Oh, before I do, I've started a new PSYOP experiment at work on my co-workers, which is quite interesting. So I basically took an extra, because I bought the blender, I made some smoothie yesterday morning, and I took a couple of bottles of it to work, and I saved one until the end of the shift. I had a word with the co-workers that were going to be responsible for me being busy or not, and I said, look, I don't know, because I was still getting grumpy at the end of a shift, and I don't know whether that's blood sugar, and I don't like getting like enraged with people that are stupid, because you know you lose instantly the moment you raise your voice. So You know, given that most of your reactions are chemical, and you can suppress that, you know, speak to anybody on beta blockers. So you can suppress that. So I took in the smoothie. It was high in fructose, really. You know, it's berries and mangoes and bits of banana and stuff. So I left one until about 8 o'clock, and I said to the staff, look, I don't know whether the reason is that I get cross with you all at the end of a shift is something to do with the environment, where I'm getting stressed out by you because you're not bringing the plates quickly enough, or it's my blood sugar level crashing. So if you could help me out, that would be great, because I want to do this experiment to see if I boost my blood sugar about an hour and a half before we close, does it make me less grumpy with you? But in order to do that, you need to take away all the situational stimuli, as in you know, wandering about looking at your phones instead of bringing me the plates. And it'd be really useful for my YouTube channel. So that was kind of an interesting thing, because it is a genuine experiment. You know, can I hack my mind so I'm less grumpy at the end of the shift, because I've got better things to be angry about? And it sort of subtly put the onus on them. You know, so if it's situational and you're causing it, please stop, so I can do my experiment about blood sugar, which for some reason I might fall to the ground and convert to religion. If, you know, is it a physiological reason, or are you people just friggin' useless? See, you can be a scientist if you do a boring job. All you've got to do is know that there are white mice to do the tests on, but they're two-legged and they run around and look at you blankly like this. So that was pretty funny. So did that, but yeah, I did feel a lot better. So maybe if you are making smoothies, it's just because it's a lot of blood sugar and fibre and stuff like that. It's essentially a meal and a drink, just not a heavy one. And it's as good for you as lots of fruit can be. It's probably best not to pour fruit juice in it, because fruit juice quite often has corn syrup, but it's also, you know, if you drink a large glass of orange juice, that's the juice. That's, you know, the working bit of about 6 or 7 oranges. So instead of eating one orange, you're eating all those. So I just put whole berries and stuff like that, and I don't strain it because I want all the pith and the pips and stuff. So yeah. So the big psychological thing for today. There is a concept called theatre of the mind, and it says that it's very much like a visualize your dreams thing, but or visualize an action. So if you're having problems confronting people, you can basically sit in the audience of the theatre of your mind and play out in as much detail as you can manage something that you want to achieve, or a scene that's going to go down and a way that you want to react. And you run that, you know, you watch that imaginary play as many times as possible, and it fills out, it does itself. So I was wondering if there's a way that we can harness that. You know, because like it's another one of those CEO side tricks, you know, what they do to, you know, get better at manipulating other people, which I don't want to do. Like I say, the optimum number of heroes is everyone, and that'd be nice. But a couple of million would be good. Imagine all these people just sort of going through a whole lot of training, learning a martial art, learning how to do a bunch of skills, and then going, right, show me a problem. And I don't mean direct conflict type heroes necessarily, although it could come to that. This is why there's the physical aspect. It's no good if you can be got. You know, if you can be taken out just because you're not in shape, that's a rubbish reason. You know, and also, you know, the fitness will make you more mentally focused as well. It just does. So yeah, theatre of the mind. So just put a pin in that for the moment. I'm gonna do some more thinking on that. I thought I'd bring it to you ASAP so you could all, have a think about it. That could be a useful thing. Don't know yet. I haven't got a situation that I know is coming up that I could overcome. But I'm wondering if you could use it in, say, combat training. Because, most people will do, to quote Chuck Palahniuk, almost anything to not get into a fight, including us. Whereas if you rehearse in your head 100 times, that sort of confrontation, and yeah, and obviously nobody wants to hurt other people. You could even intervene and say, I really actually don't want to get into any violence, because I think it would hurt everybody. Everybody would be injured from it, and that's rather pointless, and everybody that initiates it is going to regret it at some point in their lives. Just intervene like Buddhist monks. As Mr. Miyagi says, karate is for self-defense only. And then goes and rips it up in the second movie and goes, karate is for honor and self-defense, like the Spanish Inquisition. Karate is for honor, money, self-defense, home insurance. I digress. Anyway, so theatre of the mind, give it some thought. So I'm going to wrap it up there, because I want to have a sit down. Essentially, now I've not only run and walked about a mile and a half, I've also walked back a mile and a half. And I haven't had any breakfast yet, or any coffee. Yeah, that's right, people. Got up, went out before coffee. I'm just gonna... So, yeah, with this recording, and with setting up the camera on my shoulder and doing all the mucking about and walking to where I wanted to start the run, it's now 7:55, which is still about 2 hours before I used to get up, to put it in context. So by the time I get back to my house, it'll be 8:30. I'll see about shooting the fitness bit, and then I'll render it all down and upload it. So, tell me what you think of the ongoing format. As always, please like, please subscribe, please watch it all the way to the end. It makes a massive difference to the analytics. And if you know someone that could do with getting a bit fitter, and they want some, I wouldn't say inspiration, but some sort of company where it's not some buff, ripped fitness dude, and that'd be great. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and do take care.